Hello, my name is Jim Romrell, and I'll be doing, I'm from Lakeridge Junior High School, and I'll be doing a session for the content day on range finding. What range finding is, it's the process the SAGE goes through to determine the scores on the different essays. So when your students submit their SAGE tests for their writing, for the last 2 years, their essays have gone through a panel of teachers who have set the cut scores for how they'll be graded. And so this last year, a number of teachers at our district, including myself, were able to go and help the state out with that range finding process. And it was really interesting. And it was possibly the most important thing I did last year for my students. So here's what happened. We came into a room, we had a stack of essays, just tons of them. And we went through and graded those essays. And they gave us a state rubric, and we went over the rubric first, and so I have a copy of that rubric. And then all the teachers graded the essays, and we compared our scores, and then the most important part was we then discussed why we graded things differently. And the state used our feedback to determine how to set the computer score that'll be grading the test this year. The reason why it was so valuable to me is because often I felt like I'm not sure what the state wants. I wasn't sure what exactly they meant when they said elaboration and transitions, for example. And in working through the process of range finding, now I really feel like I'm pretty clear on exactly what they're looking for. Also things like academic language. What does that mean, and how much do they care? Well, I found out a lot about that. And so come to my session, come and see how this works. What we'll do is I'll take you a minute or two and go through the rubric, and then I have 6 different essays from 9th graders. We'll grade those essays together. We'll take as many people as we want to. I have an online program we'll use. We'll use Pull Everywhere. And then we'll compare our scores. We'll have a conversation. And then I want to also show you, I made a student-friendly rubric. And it's just the same rubric the state uses, only in student-friendly language. And I actually went through the same process of range finding with my students because I found that my students could never really understand how to use a rubric. They weren't any good at it. And so I'll show you guys my rubric and talk to you guys a little bit about the process I went through with my students. Anyway, that's what'll happen, and I hope to see you there. Bye.